Fear of the dark.
I'll never forget when I lived in the UAE. Many strange things happened, but one thing I remember vividly. I had a universal charger. I was looking for it for days and days. I know it wasn't in the wall. It was nowhere. In the dead of the night, no one was home. It was pitch black. No one was in my room. I swear to you, I heard the charger being put back in the wall in the exact spot that I thought I left it days ago. When I woke up, I was too scared to look, and lo and behold, it was there. Things like this happen many times to me, and has always happened to me in my life. At my best friend's funeral, me and two others saw her breathing deeply for 20 seconds. So we were viewing her body at her wake. We three are her besties, and the last ones in line. One of the girls was stroking her hair and saying how peaceful she looked. She looked like she was just sleeping. Suddenly, we see her embalmed body that had been dead for a week start to take deep, slow meditative breaths. We were in shock at first, staring at this glitch or phenomenon or whatever it was. After 20 seconds, we look at each other with the look of, did you just witness that? At this moment, the usher's presence broke the spell and she was inanimate again. We confirmed what happened while smoking outside. We all saw her take breaths in and out for about 10 to 20 seconds. We never spoke of it again for some odd reasons. This was about 22 years ago. I'm the only one that's still alive out of the three of us. I believe the deceased was showing us that death is absolutely not the end. Sarah D., Rosalind G., and Autumn C. will all blunt it again, sooner or later, I'm sure. This happened years ago when I was still living with my parents. I just finished getting out of work, grabbed my phone, and went to grab my wallet, but it wasn't even there when I remember leaving it there. I started looking in the usual places where I kept it, and I didn't see it. So I asked my mom if she's seen it. She says no, and starts helping me look for it. We tore apart my room, moved furniture, checked pockets of hoodies and pants, and I even checked my girlfriend's purse, and nothing. My mom started stripping my bed, shaking out the blankets and pillowcases, and then remade the bed. So at this point, the wallet clearly wasn't in my room. We go to check the sunroom. I come in and out of the house through that room, so maybe I put it down with my keys and we didn't see it. I decide to give up for now. I need to leave. My girlfriend tells me that she'll look for it when she gets back from the doctor's. I go in my room to grab my hat so I can leave, and the wallet is sitting dead center middle of the bed. There is no way we freaking both missed it after literally taking everything off the bed and remaking it. It wasn't on the bed while we were looking, but now, here it is. It is the craziest thing, and my mom still brings this up more than 15 years later. This happened about a year ago, but I thought I'd share it here to see what everyone thinks, because I genuinely thought I was losing my mind. I'll keep it short. Basically, I was home alone taking out the garbage on the upper level, and my dog started barking as she always does when someone's at the door. I heard the door open, and I heard my mom say, "Hello," and so I shouted back, "Hello." I didn't hear a response and assumed that my mother maybe went back out to the car to grab something, so I finished taking out the garbage. After a while, there was still silence, so I went and I checked, and no cars were in the driveway, and the door was still locked. I texted her, and she said that she was still in the city and she'll be back in an hour. I even asked her if she came home and she left again, and she said that she just had gotten there. I was spooked. In 2010, I was living in an apartment in East Austin. My room was upstairs and I had a window, so naturally, I was smoking in my room all the time. One night, I was getting ready to do that and I dropped the grinder. I watched it roll under the dresser right next to me. I bent down to go grab it and it wasn't even there. I completely moved the dresser, made sure that it wasn't stuck or caught on something under there. I checked behind my floor mirror. I checked in the closet and under my bed. I thought maybe I'd missed it rolling across my entire room, but it wasn't even there. I even checked the damn hallway, the stairs, and the bottom of the stairs to see if it rolled under my door somehow. That thing was gone. I eventually got frustrated and gave up. I didn't even smoke. I just went straight to sleep because I was so done with it. As soon as I woke up, I now opened my eyes. I swear to you, I see the grinder on the edge of my windowsill above my bed. I would never forget seeing that there. My weed was still in there though, so that was a nice thing. This actually did happen. This is not fiction. I still find myself reluctant to tell what I saw. It is something that I never told a stranger, and I never heard anyone else who has experienced anything close, and it is nonsensical. The incident happened on a clear summer day in Northern California in the late 90s, not so far from Travis AFB. A friend of mine wanted to see some rims that our other friend was selling. He lived one street away, so I went with my friend. There was a group of guys talking about the rims. Since I wasn't interested in haggling, I walked to the edge of the driveway to wait. Another guy who I was acquainted with from the group walked over with me. We were looking at a small prompt plane that was flying several miles away. There wasn't a cloud in the sky when part of the sky started to glitch and warp like it was shorting out. It was massive in size. From the center of the glitch, a cloud-like structure started to form from nothing. It began to swirl horizontally with the bottom facing us. It started to grow in size like a sideways tornado. It grew larger and larger. We both looked at each other and said, "What the is happening?" It started to feel out of body. Nothing was registering that this could even happen. Our known reality was being shattered. We were transfixed by it. As we kept watching, another part of the sky began to glitch to the upper right and a lot further away. It looked like a huge piece of fabric of space was trying to rip open right in front of us. A large vertical line materialized. In an instant, it was open. It was massive in size. It looked like a parallel universe had been opened. You could see the edge of the world and the difference past the opening, but I couldn't describe it. There was a huge void on the other side. We were peering past the curtain. It was as if we were looking to another dimension. This is where it doesn't make sense, like any of the others does. A huge battleship slowly appeared in the void on the other side of the tear, as if it was cloaking. It was floating in nothingness. It was larger than any ship on Earth, but looked man-made. The ship had more masts and levels than any other ship I've ever seen. There wasn't any turrets or weapons. It was gray with no markings whatsoever. It looked like a ghost ship, something the Navy might have built but couldn't. I was able to look at the different areas of the ship. I didn't see any signs of life. It hovered there for what seemed like 10 minutes. I got the feeling we weren't supposed to see this. Then all of a sudden, the opening shut in an instant. Everything was back to normal. The sky returned as if it was before if nothing ever happened. I looked at my friend and I asked him, "Did you see that? Did that just happen?" He nodded his head yes. He was so freaked out as I was. He then had to leave with his friends. I kept wondering what to do. How do I process this? Who do I tell? What difference would it make? Would anyone believe me? Several days later, I wanted to talk about it with him, and he said, "Nope, I don't want to talk about it." We never discussed it to this day. It left me questioning my reality. It happened, and I don't know what happened. Many people have seen flying objects, but not this. It has left me perplexed and alone. I've always wondered if the prop plane saw it. Nothing was ever reported. More people should have seen it. Was this some type of Philadelphia experiment? The ship USS Eldridge looks nothing like what I saw. That's the closest explanation that I can come up with. Was it some type of teleportation experiment that went wrong? I mean, it didn't look like it was any type of alien ship, and it also didn't look anything humans could build. I don't think that I would ever know what it was. I'm no expert on these types of experiences. Does anyone have any idea what it might have been? Has anyone ever heard of anything or seen anything similar? I got up, I got ready for work, hopped in my car to get ready for my 1.5-hour commute to work. I'm driving my normal route, and about 35 minutes into my drive, I missed my exits due to a weird traffic instance where I couldn't even get over in time, so no big deal. I continue and just let my GPS recalculate. I like using my GPS regardless of knowing a route because it gives me good insights into traffic patterns and ETA, things like that. So it recalculates to the next exit, and even saved a couple of minutes. I was like, oh nice, maybe I just found a secret shortcut to work. So at this point, I blindly follow the GPS as I am unfamiliar with a lot of the route at this point, and I drive for another 20 to 25 minutes or so, and this is where it gets weird. I come up on a road that seems similar to me for some reason, and I discount the feeling because of the off chance maybe I had been there before. I then turn onto the road and I realize that I'm on a road that connects to the road to my house is on. I've never gone this way because I've never had a reason to. I think to myself, wow, this is really weird. How did I just get turned around like that? So at this point, I know I'm going to be late, so I call my boss and let him know that I made a mistake. I decide I might as well just stop by the house and let the dogs out real quick, and I go to the bathroom. Now this is the weirdest part. As I approach my house, I look in the driveway and my heart sinks. My car is in the driveway, same license plate and everything. That's when I look down at the steering wheel and I realize that I'm driving my wife's car. I pull in the driveway and then I walk in the house. My wife was so confused to see me because she knew that I left for work not too long ago. I was surprised to see that she was even awake because she works the night shift at the hospital. I asked her if she by chance saw me take her keys out of her purse to drive her car that day. She then reaches in her purse and pulls out her keys out of her purse. So that's when I reach my hand in my pocket and I pull out my keys. How was I driving her car with my keys? Our cars are very different, but the fobs are similar. Now again, I discount it as a weird mix-up and I hop back in my car to go back to work this time. I text and update my boss and let him know the situation. I get back on the road and this time I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss my exit. As I'm approaching the same exit I missed last time, I see emergency vehicles lining up the road and the exit was closed. There was a car crash on the exit involving a semi-truck. The car that was in the accident was the same make and model as my car. I found this to be very spooky. Again, I'm forced to drive a different route to work, and at this point, I'm very frustrated. I call my boss and let him know again just to update him, and he says no worry, you should still be able to make it in time for the meeting. I look at my clock and it's as if I was on time. But how? I called my wife just to confirm that I was at home a while ago, and she said that I wasn't home, but she couldn't find her keys anywhere. I was starting to freak out. I checked my phone's previous calls and texts to my boss, and there was nothing. I never called to text him. Did I need to go to a doctor? Here's a little update. My wife found her keys. They were in my work pants that I wore the day before. There's a second update. I asked my boss for a mental health day because the experience had been very unsettling. I spoke with my boss about the experience that I had, and he said that I could have the day off to figure out some stuff. Yes, he's a very cool boss. This is what I found out. More questions than answers, really. The first thing I did was try to find any news regarding the accident I saw. I swear I've been looking up the exit and the interstate to see if I can pinpoint who was in the accident because it didn't look survivable. Nothing. I couldn't find anything on the accident. and it's been eating me up. I mapped out my route and traced the exit that I thought that I took. The only possible exit that I took doesn't seem to connect or turn around back to my home in any way. It does, however, provide an alternate route to my work. I haven't been back to the exit where the accident happened. I want to investigate it to see if I can find any signs of wreckage, maybe stains or fluids on the road, bits of car with matching colors, etc. I have somewhat of an eidetic memory, I guess. Usually I can recall very specific information about an event. What someone is wearing, color of their coffee mug, etc. Things that other people usually just disregard as unimportant. That's why this part is really frustrating to me, because for the first time in my life, I cannot remember any details about the interaction I had with my wife. My wife is my rock, and she has been very supportive throughout this experience. I try to remember specific details about our interaction, but I cannot seem to pick out any specific details like I usually would. She works night shift as an NICU nurse, and it was her day off, so her schedule is all over the place. And I thought for sure she would be sleeping when I got home, but she was awake. The key fobs are a mystery as well, but for safe measure, I went out into the driveway and I ran a test to make sure that the car would not start if I had the wrong keys, because I've heard such things being possible with certain cars, but no luck. It didn't start. I switched cars and tested vice versa, and nothing. The only possible explanation here is that maybe I grabbed her keys from her purse after getting home unexpectedly, and then just drove my car to work. But this doesn't explain her keys being in my work pants from the day before. She found them way before I returned home.